product grouping. Let's see if we can finish it by 5 o'clock, okay? Let's try it. The manufacturer shall declare either separate thermal values for each single product and each single thickness, then determine the 920 value on each thickness for each product, or thermal value product grouping including all the ranges of thicknesses using the value of the product group or corresponding thickness range. Okay.
Good. Okay. Easy to.
Separate thermal values for each single product, each single thickness, and they determine the lambda 1990 value on each thickness for each product.
So this goes back into A and B.
And thermal values for a product or a product group including all or a range of thickness using the lambda 1990 value.
Either.
No, it does not. It's a different thing. Isn't it? It says that you can each product for each single thickness and they determine the lambda 1990 value on each thickness and each product, or thermal values for a product or a product group including all or range of thicknesses. So you can say, I can say 2 to 4 millimeter this, 2 to 4 inches this thick, this is the value, rather than saying this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, isn't it?
Yeah, but aren't we, with putting initial thermal resistance and what we call long-term thermal conductivity, and putting sizes in, aren't we completely away from this? I mean, we have the 4 sizes for panels up to whatever that number's gonna be. And in panels greater than that, you would test each individual size and thickness. The question is, could you take individual testings and turn that into a group, and is there a value to that?
I don't think, we don't know enough about it, okay? I stick to for each product, each thickness, declare it. But then they say the manufacturer shall decide whether he will create groups and size of the groups, determine how, so that gives a huge power to the manufacturers. They can all the things, they can bulk it together and say this thing, isn't it?
So I would suggest, based on what we've already done, that C5 is gone completely.
There is no product grouping, you cannot do the grouping. The moment you give these options, the game starts, you know. Product grouping is gone. Next is measurements of P on the core matrix. Determine thermal conductivity as a function of gas pressure. This is an equipment from Hanika. Okay. To determine the thermal conductivity as a function of gas pressure value of P half in equation C1, one of the 2 methods described leak tight connector method. The thermal dependence on inner pressure requirement shall be determined experimentally by the following technique. A leak tight connector is mounted on one half of the panel which the other half of the tested panel is kept flat for hot plates thermal conductive measurements. The connector allows a deliberate change in inner pressure by letting in a small dose of air and also accurately measures the inner pressure level. While the hot plate device takes a thermal conductivity reading. Picture of such system is shown below. At first, the thermal conductivity is measured in accordance to ISO 8301. After evacuation, the system through the connectors down to the pressure and the value of the thermal conductivity at this low pressure is equal to the parameter the zero main equation C1. Later on, controlled amounts of air are injected into the envelope through the leak tight connector. The thermal conductivity is measured in accordance with ISO 8301 after each air injection together with the corresponding pressure measurements. The parameter measurement. I think this was written by Yosh. I don't see any problem with that. Anybody see the problem? Any problem? Do you use the same one or do you have a different one?
Quite similar.
Personal.
Yeah.
But you developed it yourself. One. Do you sell that one outside? You don't sell that equipment
No,
outside?
not that.
Not for you. Okay. One or several VIP with different inner pressure shall be produced. The first inner pressure shall be typical production method using VIP with different inner pressure. Other inner pressure shall be within the next 3 pressure bracket. Example, a silicon will typically produce a 3 bar inner pressure. Thus, it is possible to use the inner 3 bar, 20 bar, and 350 bar and 1000 bar. Example, a fiber VIP is produced 0.1 millibar inner pressure. Thus, it is possible to use this and this. Example, thermal productivity of all this inner pressure shall be measured along with 4.1 and PR shall be determined as a best fit curve of equations. You are okay with it? You are okay with the methods of using VIP with different inner pressure?
Inner pressure of VIP is measured by directly. What is it? The other inner pressure shall be within the next 50 pressure decades with the detail. Not clear.
Pressure decay means multiplied by 10.
Pressure decay.
Divide next 3 pressure decays. So 3 millibar. Just if possible to inner pressure. Okay. Within the next 3 pressure decays. Okay. So if it is 3, so 3 into 10 is 30. It is between 3 and 30. So they say 20. Okay. If it is 20, no, if it is 3, then multiplied by 100 it will be 300, isn't it? But this make it 350. No, sorry. 3 and then 30. 30 to 300. The 350 they probably consider within 300. Then 3000 they went to 1000. Lavan, did you hear this on 3 pressure decades?
Well, when I'm looking at this, if I understand it right, D1 is you're doing a constant reduction in pressure or increase in pressure. In D2, you're picking pressures. 3 of them, I think, yeah. So one is a whole bunch of numbers and one is 3 numbers. If I go back to what we talked about with this 25-year value and the fact that we're gonna go from initial to somewhere down the road where it's not gonna have any vacuum whatsoever, I think we need to pick one of them. Because if you can do 2, again, you're not comparing apples to apples. Everybody will do it slightly different.
Now this is to find out the p-half for the coefficient. Okay?
But isn't this related to thermal conductivity?
There, how the thermal conductivity is changing with the pressure.
Yeah.
Okay?
And that takes us, if we know how the thermal conductivity changes with the pressure, that gives us what we started to call long-term thermal
Yeah.
conductivity.
Yes. So this is a very important
Yes.
coefficient which determines eventually how it will age, putting in that equation.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they are saying that you have to have those 3 type, basically you produce those 3 VIPs, and then you have different inner pressure, right? And measure the thermal conductivity. They told the equipment before, this is the equipment you use to measure it and control the pressure. Now they are giving those 3 pressure level, which pressure level, they are giving it an example.
Okay, so first of all, you can do D1 or D2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it says one of the 2 methods described in clause D1 and D2. So do we want to give that option? I'm against options, just
Okay.
as a general.
The difference is that D1, if you have that equipment. D2, you are a manufacturer, you don't have the equipment, but you can produce the real panels. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm if I'm in the lab, in my lab I want to establish that one. I have got the panel, but I don't produce. I'm not a producer of the panel. I got it from manufacturer. I can use that equipment and measure it. Okay, but in the manufacturer he doesn't have the equipment, but he can have the equipment. He have the machineries to produce the panel and control the pressure inside it. So in that case, he is producing the panel at different pressure level and measuring thermal conductivity.
Okay, so is the D1 a research tool and D2 is a manufacturing tool?
D1 is a method which researchers can do in their own lab if they have the equipment. Manufacturers can do both D1 and D2 if they have the equipment.
So in my opinion, equipment is out of the equation. If we need a test and it requires equipment of X, then you gotta get the equipment of X. And it's sort of like the C518 and C177. I mean, 177 is more expensive equipment from a standards writing, so what? If it's a better test, we use it. Now, in North America, we allow the option because of cost. And I think the same thing here. I would prefer us to either choose D1 or D2. And this is going to be used by laboratories that are going to determine whether a manufacturer is producing a product he's supposed to produce. This should not be designed for research. So if T2 is typically what the manufacturer would do, then D2 is the right number. The question that needs to be asked, and we need to feel comfortable with it, is does the accuracy of D2 give us the level of comfort we're looking for?
I have not seen anything where they compare D2 and D1 in a neutral way. That Have you seen some results comparing D1 and D2? Do you have some results?
I have no data for OD2.
I'm pretty sure Europeans may have some data.
But isn't it, and correct me if I'm wrong, isn't the difference between D1 and D2 how many points you do?
Okay, in D1 and D2, D2 does it tell you, D1 does it tell you how many points you do?
I've seen a whole slew of points on the graph.
Yeah.
Ah, so that is their measurement, in an example, there is probably 20 measurements done here, okay? But, following graph is an example of the pressure constant.
Like, is that curve important?
It is important.
Then we should keep D1 and scrap D2.
I think that will be probably more realistic. Because D2 is manufactured is only 3 points, it is really difficult to have a very reliable results on that, isn't it? And labs will not be able to do that because they have to rely on the manufacturers to produce those panels, and replicability of that will not be that easy thing to do. But here they have got couple of panels, they can do it.
I sort of think of this like hydrothermal properties materials.
Yeah.
We had E96, we used to have 1 point.
Mm.
And nowadays, ABBA's moving to a minimum of 4 points. We have 2 points now, we're gonna add 2 more points. Because if we're going to determine the water vapor transmission rate of materials, 1 point doesn't cut it. And I think this is a very sophisticated product. I think we should use reasonably technically accurate methods to get.
Okay, but that will be this is an equipment, but this equipment can be built in the lab without going to, this equipment picture comes from Hanita.
So what are we talking about dollars? Are we talking about $1,000, $10,000, $100,000?
See, you estimate a heat flow meter, you probably need, apart from the heat flow meter apparatus, to build it.
Well, you gotta assume you got a heat flow meter.
If you have a heat flow meter, within $20,000 you'll make it. You need a pump, okay, and you need bits and pieces. That's all you need.
I don't think those, I think you were at NRC when.
But that's the more sophisticated one.
Yeah, well, we spent $250,000 on the infrared camera.
Yeah.
Okay, because we needed the accuracy. If that's the cost of doing business, that's the cost of doing business. I mean, you're not going to, the lab's not.
This is not a hugely sophisticated equipment, it's and it's not a hugely expensive either, these pumps are available, you connect it, you do this, and your heat flow meter, you just, various people does it various ways, but the principle is straightforward.
Yeah. If that's, if we need that line, then we need the line.
Okay. So are you okay if we start? Anita will be very happy,
I mean, we don't wanna put barriers up for testing
No,
for
no,
manufacturer, but we also have to have honest and accurate results.
I think the D1 is more accurate and honest. Method using VIP with different inner pressures. One of several, that's why we scrapped it. Next one. Barrier performance of the envelope. For the calculation of declared thermal conductivity including aging and age effect, several quantities characterizing the barrier performance of the envelope are needed. The procedures for determining these quantities are given in annex. Accelerated factors. Okay. The supplier of the envelope shall provide the following information on the barrier property: permeability, water intake rate, the determination of permeability of.
We're not talking about water, we're talking about water vapor, correct?
Yeah. Europeans keep on saying it's water intake.
Well, technically, I guess that's true, but to me, water intake is
Liquid
is
water.
a liquid water in an immersion test.
Notified water intake at 50 degree 70%. The determination the determination of permeability of air is described in clause E2, and determination of the water intake is E3. The acceleration factor if air for dry air are defined by the following equations.
Water intake.
Typical factor determined E1 into for metallization is P is equal to 10 and FR is equal to 4. For calculation according to Annex, these values can be used for envelopes containing this kind of flames. Alternatively, for all other envelopes, the procedure having this kind of alternatively, and for all other envelopes, the procedure described E2 and E3 shall be used. Procedure for measuring air permeability of envelope. Air permeability should be tested using a core material beyond Renberg, for example fiberglass core, and Lambert relation will be measured previously by the notified body according to one of the procedures in Annex D. 300 mm panels shall be produced by the notified body using the fiberglass core and envelope under consideration. The amount of desiccant large enough to absorb the entire material is used in all 6 panels. 3 of them will be stored in 180 days and 50 degrees centigrade, and 380 days 20 degrees. Thermal conductivity shall be measured at T20 by using already known lambda P relation. The inner pressure for each of the panels will be determined along with storage time. The steady state air permeability will be calculated by linearly fitting those flow from the 120 degrees. The air permeability values for each of the conditions set should be the average value of the 3 panels tested. So basically they are putting
And its permeability we'll want to know, right? An airflow rate per Pascal. What do we relate that to? Because an airflow rate at 1 Pascal means nothing to me.
nothing. Here you are not really, it is atmospheric pressure, so effectively here the pressure is almost controlled. The pressure gradient is almost constant, because one side is close to 0, another side is atmospheric pressure.
So where does D go? How do we take that back into the standard? Or E, I should say.
Or there's the equation there.
It's all part of the edge and edge
Yeah,
effect?
aging, yeah, these are all part of aging effect.
Mm.
You are getting various, basically coefficient. This is aging rate due to change of thermal conductivity due to pressure. Now you are getting a change of thermal conductivity due to, due to air infiltration.
What I'm looking for is in the aging part of it is the reference to Annex E.
It is there.
So I
That
can
one.
search.
You can do a search and find
Okay, so the first one in Annex C, under general, it just says C Annex E, it doesn't say you have to follow it.
From
Okay, so aging, that's in C. Aging, accelerated aging of EIP without Desca. Using the accelerated factors of permeation of the envelope as defined in Annex E. Okay, yeah, it's in there.
It's there. I think we'll go through the technical issues, then we'll come back to the,
Did we have agreement on air leakage versus air permeance?
I'm okay to keep it as air permeable.
And as we take that into consideration, somewhere we gotta change it from air permeability to air leakage to do calculations, correct?
But in these standards, they don't talk about air leakage, do they? No, they only talk about air permeability and how they determine it.
Okay, but you're concerned about the total amount of air that's coming in the panel.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a number per Pascal, so somewhere we gotta
But
take
pa-
that times the
yeah,
Pascals.
Yeah, but the thing is, here what is happening, you have a almost constant pressure gradient, isn't it? Pressure gradient which you are getting here is one side is atmospheric, another side is close to zero, right?
So what?
so why is it
My-
Well,
constant?
my whole point is permeability is per Pascal. So somewhere we gotta, whatever the pressure difference is across, we have to take the number that we've determined out of this.
Yeah, that.
Per
that is-
Pascal times the number of
They are
Pascals.
they are taking it into the equation
Okay.
that's there. That's given in the equation.
Okay.
It has been taken care of. Okay, so we are okay with this one? Okay, next go to E3, procedure for measuring the water intake rate of an envelope. The procedure starts with the preparation of a small fiberglass panel with an amount of desiccant large enough to absorb the entire penetrating vapor inside using the inspected film. The panels are weighed using a microbalance and then held in a climate chamber at the relevant temperature and RH. For 60 days, the panel should be weighted relevant temperature and RH. For 60 days, the panel should be weighed every 10 days. The mass gain during this period is caused by the water molecules permeating and absorbed by the desiccant. The water intake rate value is calculated by dividing the mass gain in the last 30 days duration by the surface area of the envelope divided by 30 days. 3 panels should be at 50, 3 panels should be 20, the water intake values for each of the condition set should be the average value of